Welcome back to Balderdash Academy. Tonight, we have comic producer, podcaster, Nick Gordon, and we find out what piece of New England washed up on a Norwegian shore. Cool. But first...
Balderdash Academy, competitive comedy. Good for your health like a yearly colonoscopy. Bring a flask, don't forget your hall pass. If you need a laugh, let me introduce the school staff. Marie Stewart Harmon teaches home economics. See her after class for some home brewed tonics. Sex with me is like Nate Green, cause finishing on top is his normal routine. Coach Steve brings the show's sports knowledge, but he's bad at portmanteaus cause he didn't go to college. Molly McGill spits words like an Uzi. She wins every game but can't name a single movie. They call him Randy Hunt, the theater guru. He'll always almost win like deja vu do. Carla Rose Dubois, you better watch your back. She's notoriously known for teaching music facts. And Bob LeBlanc gets no disrespect. Don't talk back, cause he's technically correct. Yes, let's go. Balderdash Academy, baby. Alright, sit down, class is starting.
Professor Randy Hunt won his first game last month.
Nice.
So, Steve, you've been away for a while. This is your perfect opportunity to get on the board. What tactic do you have to secure a win this season?
My tactic? That's a good question. I think so far I've tried every episode and failed the majority of the time. I think I've only got 2 wins across 2 seasons. So I'm going to not try it all tonight. I'm not going to try to be funny or interesting or clever. None of it. I'm just going to see if that sticks.
Typical Tuesday.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Typical. All right. So our visiting professor tonight is comic producer, podcaster Nick Gordon. Nick has performed throughout New England. Nick, welcome to Balderdash Academy.
Yay.
Great to be here. Thank you for having me.
Now, Nick's had quite a career. He had the good fortune for opening for legendary Letterman warm-up comic Eddie Brill. He's also the co-founder of the River Comics comedy production team, along with our inaugural visiting professor, Leonard Kimble. Now, we will be going to Nick shortly, but before we do, he has agreed to be the visiting professor tonight while our faculty competes for the coveted reigning champion banner. So, we will try to compete for Nick, and at the end of each round, he will award points to the competitor that he feels is most worthy. He's not looking for the correct answer. He will likely not get the correct answer, so that's all for the best. What he's looking for is the best answer. The answer he likes best, he will award points to the person who really tickled his funny bone. The points are arbitrary and can be awarded to anyone for any reason. At the end of the night, the faculty member with the highest point total will be named the reigning champion, because that's how math works. So, our first game today, Nick, is something that we call Give Me the Details. So with Give Me the Details, I'm going to reveal a news story that our faculty are each experts on. And what they're going to do is they're going to fill us in with a little known extra information about that news story. When they're done, just award the points to whoever one you like best. And when I say award points, that can be in any direction. You can award any amount, positive or negative, so keep that in mind.
All right.
So, our Give Me the Details story is something from NPR. So according to NPR, a 6th grader found a little piece of New Hampshire washed up on the beach in Norway. That's Norway, Europe, not the beaches of Norway, Maine, which would be tough given the fact that it's nowhere near the ocean.
There's a lake.
So it's like the hidden naval base in Norway, Maine. It's the perfect spot for it. No one would look for it, right? Yeah. So with the story of what washed up in Norway is our first expert, of course, Molly McGill. Molly, tell us about what from New Hampshire washed up on a beach in Norway.
It was quite unexpected. This little boy was walking down the beach, and he just turned his head and happened to notice something red and blackish, very similar to Carla Rosa's shirt, actually. It was a small scrap of a flannel shirt, but there was something weird to it. It was like sticky, and he couldn't figure out what it was. And once he opened it up, he realized it was preserved maple syrup right inside this beautiful flannel shirt, and smelled it, and he just was brought to New Hampshire.
All right, a flannel shirt on the beach. Kids, word of advice from your headmaster, Bob. Do not pick up sticky cloth on the beach and then take a hefty sniff of it.
No.
It's just a health warning.
Recommend.
No. All right, Nate, what washed up in Norway?
Yeah, absolutely. So it came from New Hampshire. I
Yes.
think it's still on the New Hampshire license plate. The profile of the old man on the of the mountain. You know, it's that face that just went away. Like they say it just
Disappeared.
like eroded. It just fell off, landslide, all that stuff. What actually happened is a guy a huge fan of the movie Face Off went to the old man on the mountain, and he went to Mount Rushmore. That was his plan, at least. He didn't get as far as Mount Rushmore. He just got to the old man on the mountain, took the face off, and then he was worried, like the cops were after him, so he ditched it in the ocean, and it just floated across the ocean and showed up in Norway. So that's why Mount Rushmore now has extra security there.
That makes a lot of sense. It's almost like the old man had a little work done. Carla Rose, what do you have?
Well, little known fact, I have Norwegian ancestry. Actually, this kid happens to be like a cousin of a cousin of a cousin, little Hans Jornelberg. And, he was strolling on the beach and he was looking for seashells. And he came across, you remember the Montauk monster back in the 80s? Well, this was like a creature that washed up that was from the lakes of, somehow it escaped into the Atlantic and it washed up. But thankfully it wasn't dead. So they put it on the airplane. It looked kind of like a little Nessie. And they put it on the airplane. It was the Mount Washington monster. And so they sent it on the airplane first class. It was really happy to be back home. And little Hans was just so proud. And he's going to come and visit the monster. And
That's
It's
great.
just a wonderful story. So.
All right, so Washi, the Mount Washington monster. Steve, what do you have?
Okay, well, nobody's going to be surprised my answer is about amusement parks, but there is a small amusement park in Salem, New Hampshire called Canopy Lake Park, and they opened a ride called the Star Blaster in the year 2000, which was their 200th anniversary. At the very top of this 80-foot structure was this crazy laser that would just blast lasers in all directions, and it was really cool, and apparently you could see lasers all the way to Boston from Salem. So 1 year the park reopened and the laser wasn't on top of the ride anymore, and everyone had a lot of theories about what happened to this laser. And what I assume happened was locals of Salem, New Hampshire got so annoyed by being blasted through the window by lasers constantly that they went in the night and removed it and threw it in the ocean, and it washed up in Norway.
All right. Okay, so what from New Hampshire? I almost just said what from New Hampshire.
Yeah.
What from New Hampshire? I'm sorry, New Hampshire. What from New Hampshire washed up on the beach of Norway? So we have maple syrup and a flannel shirt from Molly. We have Nate with the profile of the old man on the mountain, face-off style. We have Carla Rose with the Mount Washington monster, and Steve with the laser missing from Canopy Lake Park. Nick, how would you like to score?
I think since Steve sounds the most likely to be the actual thing that washed up, in my opinion, and also since he has to broadcast from his childhood bedroom at his parents' house.
That's what this looks like.
I'm gonna award him 100 points.
Let's go.
Yeah, and get the game rolling with Steve in the lead.
Not
All
bad
right.
for not trying, Steve.
I know. It wasn't even
Yeah.
trying there.
Congratulations.
This is a
Apathy
real
works. Okay. So What do you think the answer is? Let us know in the comments and check back after 4 questions to find out, because we're going to blackmail you into watching this whole thing. So, Nick,
Yeah.
thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me on the show.
So, I mean, we started this whole thing with Leonard, who you co-host a podcast with. He's with you with the River Comics.
Correct.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about the River Comics, what you do for them, what your role is, and how it started?
3.5, 4 years ago, something like that. We, Leonard and I and a few other folks got together and we said, hey, we need more stage time. Let's create stage time on our own. And we did that. We had an open mic set up, and then we said, well, we need a proper name for what we are. And since we could see the river from our first open mic, we said, why don't we call ourselves the River Comics? And that was the end of that.
that was it.
Yeah. One and done suggestion.
That's really sweet.
That's about how far that went. So now that wasn't your only brush with fame, or at least starting off with fame. I mean, you did, if I'm not mistaken, you met Judd Nelson twice in one day.
Yes, when I was a kid, I was 20, 21 years old. I worked at a marina in South Portland, Maine. And one day we're filling up boats with gas, and in strolls Judd Nelson and his father in their boat. And I said, my goodness, that's Judd Nelson. They proceeded to hang out for 3 or 4 hours on the dock for no reason whatsoever. It was just a very strange experience.
That's weird.
I'm with Judd Nelson. And then later that night, my friends and I went out to a bar in downtown Portland, and in walks Judd Nelson right up to me and saying, hey, how's it going? I saw you earlier today. And my friends are standing around going like, how the hell do you know Judd Nelson?
I was an extra in Transformers.
I was like, what is this? That was one of the weirdest days of my life. I'll tell you.
Breakfast and supper club.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, you've done shows all over. Have you done any shows for any of the local celebrities? Like, have you met Patrick Dempsey at a show, or
I have
anything
not
within Portland
met
itself, or?
any other local celebrities. Unfortunately, doing a comedy production with the River Comics here locally and producing my own little comedy think tank podcast, it hasn't led to actual fame and fortune. But we're working on it.
Not yet.
Yeah. So what you're saying is yes, but they haven't made it yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Growth mindset.
I think you worked with
All
this
right.
guy Showtime Steve at a show.
I did. Fabulous. He got caught in a tennis racket. It was very strange.
I don't know. There's this weird guy balancing a ladder on his chin. It's strange, man. All right, so join us when we return for 4 questions and the answer to Give Me the Details right here on Balderdash Academy. Go Dashers! Remember to like and subscribe to the video. Also, remember we have options available if you'd like to support the show directly. You can show your school pride with merch from our store. We're also booking live shows, including our new live radio comedy on the air. You can find all the information online at balderdashacademy.com. Links to everything are in the description. Thank you for watching. Have a good night. Go Dashers!